This is a video on dividing polynomials using long division. Let's take a look at an example. So if we want to divide x squared plus 8x minus 33 divided by x minus 3. Remember, when you see a fraction here, this really means division. So we're going to use long division here. So I'm going to set it up in the typical way you normally would. So here's our long division symbol. Alright, and the way you should remember which one goes on the inside and which goes on the outside is this top one goes inside the bracket here. The way I learned this was top dog in the doghouse. So if this is your doghouse, this is the top dog, so x squared plus 8x minus 33 goes on the inside, and x minus 3 goes on the outside. Now when I want to divide the polynomials, what I'm really going to look at is just the first term here. And I really want to say to myself, okay, this first term of x minus 3 is x. And I'm looking at the first term of what's on the inside, which is the x squared. So I want to say x times what gives me x squared. And we know that x times an x gives us x squared, so we write the x up top here. And then we're going to multiply this x by the x minus 3 in front, the whole thing. So we're going to have x times x minus 3, because that's what out in front, and we're just going to distribute through. So this would be equal to an x squared, and x times negative 3 is a minus 3x. And we're going to substitute that in right underneath here, and we're going to subtract it off, just like you normally would do in division. So it's x times the x gives us the x squared. X times the negative 3 makes this a minus 3x. And we're subtracting this whole thing away. And remember to put this in parentheses because you're subtracting off the whole thing. Then you're going to distribute the negative sign through. So we're going to bring a negative sign to each piece. This will be a negative for the x squared, and then a negative times negative makes this a positive 3x. Notice I'm circling the sign I'm using. It's kind of important to make sure you're using the correct sign. So the x squared minus x squared, these first two cancel out. 8x plus 3x gives us an 11x here, minus 33. And now we're going to repeat the process. Meaning now I'm taking a look at x, my first term here in the x minus 3, and I'm going to look at the 11x minus 33 down here, and I just want to see x times what gives me 11x here. Well, x times 11 gives me 11x, so I'm going to put a plus 11 up top. And I'm going to multiply 11 by whatever's out in front. In this case, 11 times x minus 3. Now I'm showing the work here on the side. You might be able to do this mentally. You don't have to show this piece. But 11 times x gives us 11x. 11 times the negative 3 makes this minus 33. So multiplying through, 11 times x gave us the 11x. 11 times the negative 3 gave us a minus 33. And remember, you're subtracting off that whole thing. And now we're going to distribute our negative sign through. Bring a negative to the first piece makes it a negative 11x. Bring the negative to the second piece, and negative times negative makes it a positive 33. Well, 11x minus 11x, those cancel out. Negative 33 plus 33, that cancels to 0. And now I'm done. I have an x here. I don't have any more variables here, right? So I can't put x into 0. So this divided evenly, right? This is our remainder, but in this case the remainder is 0. Alright, so if the remainder is 0, then our answer here is just x plus 11, what we found up top here. Alright, so this one divided out evenly. I'll take a look at another one. If we want to divide 6x squared minus 13x plus 2 divided by 2x minus 5. Again, we're going to do the same thing. 2x minus 5 should go on the outside. The 6x squared minus 13x plus 2 should be on the inside. And you're following the same process. Meaning now I want to take a look at this first term here, 2x. I want to say to myself, what do I multiply it by to get a 6x squared? Well, 2 times 3 gives me 6, so I know I need 3 there. And x times an x gives me the x squared, so I know I need 3x. Right? Because 2x times 3x will give you the 6x squared. So this is what goes up top. And now you want to multiply this 3x by whatever was out in front here. So 3x times the 2x gives me a 6x squared. 3x times a negative 5 makes this a negative 15x. Alright, I didn't show it over on the side this time. But you're just multiplying 3x by each term in the front, and you write it down underneath. Remember, we're subtracting off this whole thing. And we subtract this off, we're distributing through. So this would be a negative 6x squared, and the negative times negative makes that a positive 15x. 6x squared minus 6x squared cancels out. Negative 13x plus 15x makes this a positive 2x. Plus 2. And now we repeat the process. I'm looking at the 2x minus 5. I want the first term 2x, and I say, what do I multiply 2x by? to get the first term of this 2x plus 2. So how do I multiply 2x by to get to 2x? We just multiply that by a positive 1, so it's going to be plus 1 here. And remember, you're going to multiply whatever you just put up top here by this whole polynomial out in front. So we're going to have 1 times 2x gives us 2x. 1 times a negative 5 makes this a negative 5. And we're going to be subtracting off that whole thing, remember. When we subtract off, you distribute that negative sign through. So we'll have a negative 2x here, and a negative times negative makes that a positive 5. 2x minus 2x cancels out. Positive 2 plus 5 makes that a positive 7. And now once you're here, right, 2x minus 5, I can't say 2x times some value gives us 7 here, because 7 doesn't have any x's with it. So I know I can't multiply 2x by any value to get to 7. So this is our remainder. Alright, there are no more variables left. That's my remainder. And so my remainder is 7. The way we write the answer, though, is we have the 3x plus 1 from up top. Alright, and then we say this is a positive 7, so we're going to write plus, because it's a positive. And it's 7, and then you divide that by whatever was out in front, the 2x minus 5. So it's 7 over 2x minus 5. And that'd be the answer here. Here's just a special note. Alright, so note, if a term is missing when dividing polynomials, be sure to add it in using a coefficient of 0. So this is talking about if you have a polynomial that has varying degrees, but not all degrees are present. Let's take a look at an example. So for this one here, we're going to divide 8x cubed minus 12x plus 6 divided by 2x minus 8. And you want to set it up the same way. Meaning the 2x minus 8 will go on the outside. And the 8x cubed, now this is that special note, right? I have 8x cubed, but then I got minus 12x. So I don't have an x squared term in here. So I'm missing that term. I need to replace it. Otherwise the division won't work out right. So I'm going to put this as plus 0x squared, because there are no x squareds, but you have to have it in there. So you have x cubed plus 0x squared minus 12x plus 6. And then we're going to play the same game as before. We're going to do the same exact thing. So I got 2x minus 8. I'm looking at the first term here, 2x. And I want to say, what do I multiply it by to get an 8x to the third? Well, 2 times what gives me 8? Well, 2 times 4 will give me 8. X times what gives me x cubed? Well, x times x squared will give me an x cubed. Alright, another way you can figure this out if you're not sure is take the 8x cubed, alright, the first term on the inside here, and divide it by whatever the first term is on the outside, which would be 2x. And if you divide those, 8 divided by 2 gives you 4, x cubed divided by x gives you the x squared. And notice that's the same 4x squared we have up top here. So either way you can do it. You can do it by talking about what do you multiply 2x by to get to 8x cubed, or you can talk about how do you divide 8x cubed by 2x and what do you get left over. That'll go up top. Remember, whatever you have up top, you multiply by this whole polynomial in front. So I have a 4x squared times a 2x, which makes that an 8x to the third power. And I got a 4x squared times a negative 8, which makes that a negative 32x squared. And remember, we're subtracting this whole thing. Distributing the negative sign through. A negative times a positive makes us a negative 8x cubed. A negative times a negative makes us a positive 32x squared. And 8x cubed minus 8x cubed cancel out. 0x squared plus 32x squared gives us a 32x squared here. Everything else just drops down. So we got minus 12x plus 6. Alright, then we're going to follow the same pattern. I have 2x here. I want to say, what do I multiply 2x by to get to a 32x squared? Well, 2 times 16, alright, will give us 32, so it's going to be a positive 16. And then x times an x will get us to an x squared. And now I got 16x up top. I want to multiply it by this polynomial out in front. 16x times 2x will give us the 32x squared. 16x times a negative 8. I'll have to put this in our calculator. Will give us a negative 128x. And then we're going to subtract that off. So, distributing the negative sign through. Alright, a negative times a positive makes this a negative 32. A negative times a negative makes this a positive 128x. 32x squared minus 32x squared cancels out. A negative 12x plus 128x, that will be a positive, and 128 minus 12 is really what we're doing here, will give us a 116x plus 6. And we can do this one more time, right? We got 2x here. I want to say 2x times what gives me 1/16x. The easiest way to do that is really just to divide 1/16 by 2. We get 58. So this is a positive 58. So a positive 58 times 2x will make this 1/16x. A positive 58 times a negative 8 out in front gives us a negative 464. Remember, we're subtracting this off. Distributing the negative signs becomes a negative 1/16x. Distributing the negative sign here, that makes it a positive. A negative times negative makes it a positive 464. 1/16x minus 1/16x cancel. 6 plus 464 will give us 470. And now, I can't go any further. This has a 2x here. There are no x's here. So that's going to be my remainder. And the way we're going to write this for our final answer is whatever was up top, the 4x squared plus 16x plus 58. This is a positive 470 here, so we're going to write plus 470 over 2x minus 8. And then you have it. Alright, here are a couple for you to try on your own.